like sulfur, nitrous oxide is also produced from power plants and also from automobile exhaust. Here I would, because sometimes UPSC does ask a very basic 8th standard, 9th standard question. You must have heard, you must have seen some examples. Yeah, this year there was a question on pressure cooker, and which is a factor that impacts the time of cooking and all. If the question is asked from 8th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, basic science, you can't even say that I'm not from a science background. Because even if you're not from a science background, 8th, 9th, 10th would have studied that science. That's their logic. Therefore, I always encourage the non-science students to study up till 10th standard. Don't study 11th and 12th physics, chemistry, it becomes too complicated, not required also. But 8th to 9th, you have to study, because whether you are commerce or art, that was after 10th, not before 10th. Okay. So in this nitrogen, if you come across this, my first question is nitrogen a reactive gas or an inert gas? Do you understand the meaning of it? Nitrogen, is it a highly reactive gas or an inert? When I say inert, it takes a lot of time or energy for you to make it react to something. Does it react under room temperature? Does nitrogen normally react under room temperature? Any idea? Why do you say whether it is reactive or inert? Yeah, normally nitrogen does not react under conditions. It does not. There is one particular condition in which nitrogen reacts and combines with oxygen. Can you tell me what is that condition? Can someone? So the question is, if this is the question to you, nitrogen is normally an inert gas. Under what condition does nitrogen react with oxygen? Good, Harsh. The answer is high temperature. Now, and it is easy to also correlate. Now that we know that it is high temperature, in power plants, do we have high temperature? We do, because inside boiler it's a furnace, something like 900 degrees or even more. Automobile exhaust, do we have high temperature inside automobile? We do. Do you agree? Is there high temperature inside an automobile? Engine, no? Engine means there is a fire. It's actually amazing. Our automobile, what is happening inside the engine is actually an explosion, but a controlled one, a controlled explosion. Okay, so the automobile produces enormous heat. Huh? I don't know how many of you have experienced. I made it a tougher way as to what a silencer is. I did not know what a silencer is. Someone had parked the bike. I just saw this nice shiny steel thing that is sticking out of the motorbike. That was 20 years back. So I touched it and I remembered, okay, you should never touch this part again. So that was actually an exhaust. Okay, so the exhaust itself was unthinkably hot. The boils were there for at least 10 days. It was so hot. So anywhere there is high temperature, be it power plant or automobile. And another interesting thing I'll tell you, nitrogen oxide is naturally produced by lightning. If you can remember it. Lightning also. Now, what is common between lightning, power plant, and automobile exhaust? High temperature. Is that an easy way for you to remember? Lightning, power plant, automobile. Wherever there is high temperature, it will react. Okay. Now, the effect is similar to that of sulfur dioxide, both for human beings as well as for plants. Lower productivity with plants, irritation in eyes and lungs. Okay. Then comes your hydrocarbon. Many of these hydrocarbon, which are usually a byproduct of refineries. Having been in a power plant, I can tell you that none of these is ever produced in a power plant in the exhaust, at least not in a coal-based one, because these are very specific to crude oils. That's why you find them in automobiles and refineries. Okay, because both of them use some form of crude oil. I mean, automobile does not use crude oil, but it eventually is a product, refined crude oil, be it petrol or diesel. Hydrocarbon causes respiratory problems, and more importantly, these hydrocarbons have cancer-causing properties. How do we better know them? Cancer-causing is also known as, what is the term? Starts with C. Very good, Sheta and Vaibhav and Prachi. Good. Carcinogenic. They are carcinogens. Okay, they are carcinogenic in nature. Good. Chlorofluorocarbon. We have discussed this. Air conditioning, refrigeration, not put the whole point. Fire extinguishers, solvents, foaming agents, all of them. And the effect is ozone depletion. Ozone, here we come. Ozone was a hero, right? To some extent. Why was ozone a hero? Because he was protecting us. But now we are saying ozone as a villain. You know what happened to ozone? The only thing that has changed is when ozone was at a what should I say? When ozone was at a height, that is at what level? What part of atmosphere if ozone is there, it is good for us? Just yeah, thank you. For the if it is there at the stratosphere, it is good for us. Correct? So if ozone is at stratosphere, it is good. Stratosphere is what? More than 10 kilometers? Yeah, way above 10, 15 kilometers, let's say. Stratosphere, or even more. It varies from the equator poles and all that. If it is at a troposphere, then it is bad. Okay. S. So maybe you can, no, I'm just thinking. So you can say ozone at stratosphere, it's so good. Ozone at troposphere, it's like too bad. Yeah, stratosphere is too good and troposphere is too bad. So that's a simple thing about ozone. And what are the problems that it causes? Surprisingly, ozone, people who would be exposed to ozone, they have respiratory problems like asthma and breathlessness. Okay.